Hey there, fellow achiever. Welcome back to the podcast where this week we are going to focus on the 4 content creation hacks to increase your reach. So if you've been hanging with us for the past few episodes, we've been talking a lot about content creation and how to really start to make it work for you and your business as we are kicking off the new year here. However, what I want to make sure we do is not miss some things that they're so simple that a lot of people wind up missing. So we're going to jump into all 3 of those on today's episode. However, if you have not already got your hands on this, you want to head over to thedaydreamachiever.com/94, where you're going to be able to grab the free ultimate guide to epic and easy content planning. So I am going to take you through step-by-step how to simplify your research, your planning, your execution of getting your content out there in a big way so that you can be more visible and more profitable in your business this year. So like I said, you can get your hands on that guide over at thedaydreamachiever.com/94, which will take you right to the show notes and you'll see where you can go ahead and grab that download. So let's go ahead and talk about these 3 hacks that you can use in your content immediately. These are things that, like I said, are so simple that most people wind up missing them because they get lost in the sauce of everything else that they need to be doing in their content creation, that they miss these things. So let's make sure it does not apply to you. Number 1 is make it easy to share. So if this content is on your blog, do you have social sharing links? So simple, yet a lot of people are missing them. So you want people to be able to easily share it to Facebook, to Pinterest, to whatever the case is. You want to give them that ability. You want them to be able to get it out there to even more people organically for you. The other thing you want to think about when it comes to making it easy to share is the headline that you're using. I mean, the headline is just important no matter what. But if you think about yourself and how you operate and how the things that you share things that make you feel or look good on social media. We all do, don't lie. So because of that, your headline needs to be something that not only attracts people to your content itself, but makes it easy for them to share. So if your headline does sound like super boring or really unclear, or maybe actually talks down to the person reading it, so maybe you're trying to go for this like clickbaity headline and it sounds kind of negative, well, people aren't going to want to share that because now it makes them look bad to share that. So we want to keep in mind when it comes to your headline is you want something that makes it very clear what is going on in your content, but also something that makes it easy for people to share. It's not something that puts them down. It's not something that would cause controversy for them, where, think of it this way, if somebody just read the headline and they didn't click to open it, would they start saying things to that person in their comments? I can't believe you think that, when really we know it's the opposite when you click in there. But now you've just made it impossible for that person to share because they don't want to deal with that. So think about that with your headlines. The other thing is when we're not just talking about, your title and the blog itself as far as some social sharing there, I want to talk about the actual social sharing that you're doing. So when you are putting your video, whether it's live or pre-recorded, or you're sharing your blog, or you're sharing a meme or a video clip or whatever it is online that's directing people to your content to consume it, where are some ways that you can encourage them to share with those who need it as well? Now, this is something that can be a little tricky because you can't directly ask people to be sharing, especially on things like Facebook, Instagram, just because of the algorithms. Like, they're smart, they know what you're doing. And because of that, we want to word it in a way that encourages people to share without saying, tag your friends, share with your friends, comment below, all that kind of stuff. Facebook doesn't really like that. So what we want to do instead is really giving these call to actions for people to share and or tag people that can benefit without directly saying it, which I know is easier said than done. However, we could do something like know a friend that could use this. That's it. Okay, so you're not saying tag them, because think about it, you're on or you're online each day, you know what that implies. Your brain will automatically fill in the gap. So your brain will automatically go, know a friend who needs this. You'll think of the friend and you will say tag them to yourself already, because that's what we're already conditioned to do online. So you don't necessarily have to say the words to still get it across. Know someone who is also an entrepreneur, have a fellow biz bestie, whatever the case is, they're automatically going to think of that person and then share it and or tag them in it. Either way is going to get it out to more people without you having to directly ask them. So this is really, when it comes to shareability, we want to make it easy, but we also want it to be fun for your people. So whether you are making sure you have your social share buttons on your posts so that they can go ahead and share if it's a blog post or you're embedding a video on your blog or anything like that, we're making it easy for them to share, just like social media makes it easy for us to share videos, right? We always have that share button somewhere. Make sure you're doing that on your blog as well. So you're giving that same opportunity for someone to share. Your headlines, you are making sure that these headlines are something that are first compelling to the initial person coming in, and then also makes them feel and or look good to share that out to other people. So it's something that really does educate, inform, inspire, and can push forward. I will tell you, and I'll link it in the show notes too, I love, love, love the CoScheduler headline analyzer. So I don't use CoSchedule, but I do use their headline analyzer. So it is a free tool. And what you can do is put your headline in there, and it essentially gives you a score based on the words that you're using, and also gives you suggestions of different things that you can tweak to get a better score on your headline. I am obsessed with this tool. Like, I am trying to get 70 or higher when I do it for my score. And if I see a 50, I'm like, nope, scrap it, do another one, do another one. Because of course, if I am putting this work into my content, I want to make sure that people are even going to click on it, that people are even going to want to consume it, be interested in it. So this helps me make sure I'm using the right words that will attract somebody, and leveraging a tool that already does all the work for you in the background. So if I can save time, I'm going to do it. So I love that tool. Like I said, I'll link it in the show notes as well, so you guys have easy access to it there. But that's what I run my headlines through, so that I can make sure, all right, I'm getting a good balance there. I definitely have something that is hitting these key points as far as making people want to click on my content. And then, of course, when it is social sharing, it's asking questions that do encourage people to share or tag or comment without telling them to tag, to share, to comment. So things like, could a friend use this? Have you experienced this? What do you think about this episode? What do you think about this topic? So those are all ways to increase engagement, to have people commenting or sharing. And of course, if they are commenting and everything's public, it's going to go out through their people anyway. So this encourages that natural spread of your content so that it can get to more of the right people. You know, ideal clients tend to know more ideal clients of yours. So this can help you to get it out there in a bigger way. So keep that in mind when it does come to sharing. Let's make it so that this content is shareable, or we're doing the best that we can to put out this good content in the front so that it's easy to share from those that are consuming, whether it is the first time the content has gone out or it's evergreen, it's coming back around, it's still working. I mean, I have seen people who have content that's over a year old, they reshare it and it re-gets shared all over again. Like it has that same viral effect going on just because they are leveraging these easy to share options. So when they are on social media, they're encouraging people to engage, to share. They're giving headlines that make people want to engage and share. If you've ever seen quizzes, at the end when everybody loves to share their answers, whenever people are sharing their answers, it says something good about them, right? Have you ever seen somebody do a quiz that's like, you suck at life, and then they share it like with their people? Oh, look, I suck at life. No, that doesn't happen, right? So it makes somebody feel good, look good. Of course, they share that out, and then their friends go take the quiz, and then they share, and then they share, right? And that's how it continues. And it's because the person feels or looks good, and they are going to share that. Same thing goes with other content as well. They are learning something and they read your content or watch it if it's a video content, and they go, oh my God, like I want to share this with other people because I know they're going to benefit. They're going to attach that benefit to me, even if they never say that out loud. That's what everybody's saying in their head. They're going to attach that to me because I shared it. So that makes me an extra special friend, or whatever the case is. That's what's all going on subconsciously for all of us. We're humans. It's okay. So since we know that and how humans do operate, like deep down, we really do want to help other people. We really do want to serve other people. Really do want to see our friends, family, biz besties, whatever the case is, happy. So let's give them things that they do want to share. So that's why you see memes and all that going on online, because of course people want to share it. It makes them laugh. It brings joy. They want to bring that to those around them. They connect with it on some level, or they learn from it. Like it could be an inspirational video clip or whatever the case is. Look at what people are sharing. Pay attention to what you're sharing and see what you can learn from that from yourself. So I know things that make me stop in my newsfeed and or I share. I'm always kind of studying myself in a way of, wait, why was I willing to share that? Like, how did it make me feel? How can I now make that appear in my content too? So I can give that same feeling, that same genuine approach within my content as well. So number 2, give them a call to take the next step. So they have consumed a piece of content from you. They have made it through the blog. They have actually watched more than 3 seconds of your video. Whatever the case is, they are interested in this topic. Don't let them go. Give them the next step of what they can do to get more, to take things up to that next level. So this could be something like a content upgrade, which essentially the ultimate guide to epic and easy content creation. Go download it. thedaydreamachiever.com/94. That is a content upgrade because you are hearing me talk about content creation. But if you go grab the guide, it goes all in depth to all of the 5 steps that you need and planning it out and mapping it and all that good stuff. So it's that next level, which tells me that you're someone who is very committed to bringing your content to the next level. You are somebody who definitely wants to dive in deeper with that. So if I had a content creation program, which I don't, that would be like the next logical 3rd step. I just want to share this because it's no like trust, right? We can all get to know each other, and hopefully it helps serve you put better content out, which of course helps you to get more clients and more sales, which of course helps you to do more good in the world with the money that you're making. So I guess there is an end game, but if you are giving people these call to actions, your content upgrades can be a great way for them to go ahead and take that next step, and then the next logical step of maybe working with you or whatever your next step is. So you have that option. The other thing you could do, maybe your call to action is just keeping them around your blog a little bit longer. So consuming more things. So if you've ever read a blog that will go through a rundown of whatever the topic is, and then they hit one of the topics and they say, I have a post about this over here. So then you go over to the next post because you want to see that too. So now they're keeping you on the site longer, which again is building the know, like, and trust factor even more. Attaching any kind of opt-in that's related. So there's content upgrade and there's opt-in. Those can be different depending on how you're using it within your business. So we have these options where people can upgrade within your content. If you have affiliate opportunities and you are putting out content, maybe it's a click to buy the book that you're talking about. Maybe it is something about a recipe and they can order the spices off of your blog. So maybe it is a payment directly right there because it's leading them to Amazon or whatever the case is. See, the thing with this is they're already committed because we're not putting these call to actions at the very beginning. It's not like, hey, you're reading my blog, now click here. No, of course, nobody does that because they don't even know if they're committed to this yet. And so instead, your call to actions are lower down, at least like halfway of your blog post. If this is a blog post, it's at least halfway down. It's at the end. You have a pop-up, and you can say whatever you want about pop-ups. One, they work, and two, they can be done not annoying. So if you're somebody that goes, I don't want the call to action to be a pop-up to take the next step, to get on my list, to get my actionable tips, freebies, cheat sheets. Like, I don't want to do that. Well, you can set pop-ups to happen 30 seconds in or a minute in. It doesn't have to be, which I know for me, I do not like the pop-ups that as soon as I go to your site, it just covers the whole site and it's like, log in. I don't know if I like you. I don't even know. So same thing. I try to respect my people in the same way, especially if it's web traffic of let me give them, I believe mine are set to 30 seconds. Let me give them time to actually go through the content and see if they even like it. Because if not, they're already gone by 30 seconds because that's how we are. We are very fast paced these days. So they'll have already left and they won't get the pop-up. But if they are interested in the content, they're consuming it, hey, next step is to get on my list, to grab this download. Or maybe it's a content upgrade because it's very specific to that topic. Okay, then that's going to be the pop-up. That's going to be what's in the post. That's what's going to be linked. If I don't have anything, which would probably be rare for me, but if I didn't have something that would drive people to my list from one of my pieces of content, then maybe it is just building relationship and the call to action is to comment on the video. That could be your call to action. It doesn't have to necessarily be a sale or a list driver or, anything like that. If you're just doing video content and, putting out this quality piece, then you could just be building engagement and building a tribe and connecting with them and going back and responding to people. So always giving people that call to action and or next step can really leverage your content because you're already creating it. They're already in the moment. They're interested in what that is or else they wouldn't be consuming it in general. So is there something else we want to lead them to? Do we want to let them know, hey, there's a next step here? Or if there isn't for whatever reason, then hey, tell me what you're thinking about this, or tell me any questions that you're having. This can create more content for you down the road because you may see some questions that come up. You go, oh, I didn't realize that. I totally missed that part because you're so used to doing whatever it is that you're an expert at that it's natural for you to miss that. So go ahead and think about your call to actions. Do you want to be linking them to certain things within your content? Absolutely. And if anything, it's just for engagement. So how can we build a stronger community? How can we get to know our people better? If right now you just don't have anything that you're really looking to promote, then that's okay too. Let's get them used to taking action when you are building those relationships. So they get used to you asking for the connection, for the question. And then later you can ask for the opt-in, for the sale, or whatever it is that you are promoting within your content down the road as well. And then the third one is to leverage time-sensitive content. So we have throughout the entire year certain things that are always going on that we can leverage in our content. So whether it is certain things around the holidays, we just came out of, December going into January here. And what have you seen a lot of? Goal setting, reflection, like those type of things, at least in the entrepreneur space. Like you see a lot of that because it is seasonal around that time. So more people are likely to be grabbing that stuff then because it is the time they tend to be reflecting. It is the time they're setting new goals. So they're able to adjust with that. If you're in the health and wellness space, new year, new you, right? Time sensitive content. It happens between December and January. Back to school, that's another big time in that space. Like, you know that there's certain things that are like time sensitive compared to what goes on throughout the year. Anyone who does Black Friday sales, time sensitive content that would go around leading up to your Black Friday sale. So this could be holidays, right? This, which is kind of what I talked about a little bit. Like, these are more things that happen every year, but it also happens with events in the news. We saw it recently, about a few months ago, with the Me Too movement. Regardless of what your views were on either side, it was something that we were seeing a lot in our newsfeed. And anyone that was writing blog content or doing videos, I know that was a higher video for us within that entire month. I think it was September, if I remember correctly. But throughout that month, then that was the highest video view that I had. Why? Because it was relevant to what everybody was talking about in that moment. So it was, okay, let me share my thoughts on this, like how it affects me and how I'm feeling about it. And the same thing goes throughout everything. So if you have something that's time sensitive, be aware of that. I know one of the blog posts I did as a guest blog, and this was about 2 years ago, I think, was what Orange is the New Black taught me about entrepreneurship. And it's over on the Huffington Post, and it literally came out the same week that that episode of Orange is the New Black came out, or that season, because it comes out in June, I believe. And I watched it within 2 days. Don't judge me. I watched it all within 2 days. And then I thought of this idea, and I knew it was time sensitive because when something new comes out on Netflix and they drop the whole series, then guess what? Everybody usually binges it within the first few weeks there. So I knew, okay, I have this idea. I can't sit on it because this is very time sensitive to what is going on in society, right? Like what people that actually watch the show are doing. Same thing with like people who had different content around The Walking Dead or Sons of Anarchy or whatever show you watch. Again, that's time-sensitive content because most likely it's going out when the show is hot, when people are having Sunday viewing parties or whatever the case is. You're leveraging that because it's what people are already seeing around them. So it's very natural for them to consume more content around that. And if we're talking about the shareable content, yeah, it makes it shareable too because most likely their friends are also either watching the same shows or doing the same thing. Obviously, their friends are most likely having the same holidays or whatever the case is. They're already seeing that stuff on their newsfeed, so they're joining the conversation. It's easy for them to share and comment and post because they're already in that mindset of talking about those things. So right now, for me, this would be more location-wise, but if I was only dealing with a local market, which I don't, but if I was, you better believe a lot of my social media would be talking about the winter and the fact that we're about to get a blizzard and this and that, like just because it's what people can connect to around there and like different tips and things like that around it. Yeah, like why not? But that's just not the way my business is structured. However, you can take that and leverage anything that's time sensitive in your content. So maybe that content won't be your evergreen content because it is time sensitive. Like that Orange is the New Black, I don't share it because one, it's old, and two, it's like 2 episodes or 2 seasons ago. So it's not really relevant anymore, but it got traffic in that initial push, right? When I initially need it because it was time sensitive content created specifically for that. So you have that option as well with your content. The biggest thing I just want you to keep in mind is when you know something's time sensitive, you better treat it like that. So, when I had the idea for that blog, it was, I gotta do this now. right? Like, why did the new idea come, right? Almost one of those things. But no, I have to do it now because this is time sensitive. Nobody's going to care about this 2 months from now. That same thing, we watch this happen with politics, right? Which I'm not going to go into here, but like we've seen that happen with the election and all that. Like it was very time sensitive conversations that were going on and content that was going on. And that is what people were consumed by. This is what people were reading on because it was something that was affecting everyone at the same time. So you do have that way to leverage your content as well. So these are my content creation hacks to help you increase your reach. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. If you are on iTunes, you can head on over to my Instagram account. I'll go ahead and link it. And if you are on YouTube, you can go ahead and just comment below and let me know what your thoughts are and what hack that you are going to be applying to your business. I'll talk to you guys next week.